Hello. Uh, Hi, Fazil, I can't really hear you. Can you hear me? There's no audio from your side. Fazil, can you hear me? If you can hear me, just maybe call me once. Yeah, exactly, Fazil. You're not audible to anyone over here.
Must be a different headphone problem. I don't know. Right now, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible now.
Okay. Actually, the problem is this earphone is white, this one is yellow.
Hmm.
This this is the guy. That is this earphone's fault. Okay, so guys, we have with ourselves Hritik. Hritik,
Yeah,
just
hi.
a second, I'll be gone.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, hi everyone. Don't mind my look. It's government effect, right?
Okay,
So,
so for people who don't know, Ritik is a lot more interested and really talented in the field of security research, cybersecurity, ethical hacking, in that field. And today we are going to have a session on SSH. So I will leave the floor open to now, Ritik. Okay, Ritik, take it
okay, thank
away.
you, Fazil. Yeah, so hi everyone. We are going to have a session on wonders of SSH, where we'll look at a lot about SSH. So, without any further ado, let's begin into the session. Ta-da. Mm, yeah, I guess you can see my screen now pretty well. And let me just show you my screen completely so that we can have, yeah, no shave November. Thank you. But regardless, let's begin the session. No shave SSH. Sorry. Yeah. SSH is short for secure shell. That's pretty much the full form. It's secure shell for SSH. Pretty simple. But before beginning into the session, who am I? Who's the one who's speaking over here? So let me just introduce myself as quickly as I can. Oops. Yep. There we go. And yep. And okay, my layout got changed. So yeah, better now. So yeah, let me just introduce myself as quickly as I can. So who am I? My name is Hritik Vijay, as Fazal already have told you by now, and I am a cybersecurity enthusiast. And I have been working in cybersecurity for a while now. Before that, I have had a little bit of experience in some of the fields like web and Android. But after all of them, I came to cybersecurity. If you happen to find any discrepancy or have any suggestion during the presentation, feel free to reach out to me on any of these platforms. I'll reply you as soon as possible. So I guess that would be enough for who I am. Today we would be focusing a lot on OpenSSH. So what is OpenSSH and the difference between SSH? It's pretty simple. Open stands for OpenBSD. That is a different operating system than GNU Linux or Windows. And they designed a really cool suite of SSH tools that we currently use nowadays. And these tools provide us a lot of interaction with the SSH protocol itself. SSH by itself is simple protocol, but to use that protocol, you need to have some tool, right? Yeah, Dipanjan, I had to. blunder. So, as for example, if you know that HTTP is for the internet, right? It controls the internet protocol of everything that goes from and to in the internet. But to use internet, we need browser. We need something that interacts with that protocol. Simple as that. OpenSSH interacts with the SSH protocol. OpenSSH is mostly available in most of the Linux or Macs operating systems by default. It is also available in Windows operating systems, but it's kind of pain to configure in Windows operating system. So I'm not going to go into how to configure OpenSSH into Windows. But if you've got a Mac or Linux, you're good to go. Okay, this is as simple as this. I mean, this session is as simple as SSH user at hostname. You That's the entire SSH command. That's the entire SSH command that yields anything, right? Let's see what we can do with this particular command. We're gonna try it. And of course, not just me, you can as well. This session was meant to be a hands-on session. So if you have a laptop or a computer with Linux or Mac installed, just fire it up, open the terminal, and we will be moving forwards together. So yeah, VM is also fine. It doesn't make a difference for me as long as you have internet connection inside that VM and that has OpenSSH installed. That is pretty much most of the modern Linux distributions. The first command, uh, yeah, the first command is SSH WOS. If you can guess the full form, that's great. At the rate of this particular IP address that I have created exclusively for you to just try out how logging into an SSH server feels. Let us do it together, shall we? So I'm going to do, let me just increase the size. Yeah, SSH WOS at 52.47.163.42. And ta-da, it wants a password. So what's the password? This password is valid for just this session, and the password is Hritik, Hritik. Now you might have a lot of confusions about how to write Hritik. So let me just drop that password in the comment section. Uh, Password is Hritik. So all small, and there is no caps or nothing like that, and follow the spelling I have provided over there. So password Hritik and hit enter. And there we go. This is the terminal that you will be greeted with. This is a normal terminal, and you can see this particular server is located in Paris. So we are inside a computer that is located in Paris, and all it took to get inside that computer was this simple, cute SSH command. And now, what can we do inside this terminal? Well, basically anything. We can check the files available. Of course, we have a welcome.txt. Feel free to read that file or go through whatever is present over there. Also, we can maybe ping Google, right? Yep, ping works. We can even open Google via CURL. If you know that, that's out of the context. It depends on what operating system you are in. So let's try google.com, and yeah, it returns something. So we are connected to this particular operating system. This was simplest example of SSH. Throughout the session, you can keep yourself connected to this particular server, but you're going to get a lot of different servers as well as we go through the session. So let's see how it goes. Now to exit the server, a few folks have problem. How do I exit the SSH? Do I just press Alt and F4 and exit the entire terminal? No, that's not required. You can press EXIT. Yeah, Dipanjan in. Great, Dipanjan. So yeah, you can type EXIT and hit enter, or maybe just type Control D. Both of them will work, and you'll get out of the SSH session, and now you are in your normal terminal, the home terminal. Right now, the Android shell. Uh, this could be a question. Like I said that you can SSH into whatever you want, literally whatever you want. So why not Android itself? Can we SSH into Android? Let's check it out. So I'm going to open another terminal for Android. I'm just going to clone my Android device. and showing you the device in 3, 2. Okay, just 3, 2, 1. Yeah, here we have the Android device in the middle. Simple, small Android device. And on the top right side, I have a terminal open just in case if I need them. And on the left side, you can see my SSH shell. Let me just quickly make it look better. Looks a lot better. So yeah, this is my Android device, and it has got lots of many things. Yep, Among Us, maybe we can play. Fairs, no problem. We just began, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, we are not going to play this game, but maybe someday later. Right now, I'm going to open the terminal that's very popular in Android. That's called Termux, this one. So let's open this terminal. And then I'll be enabling SSH server in Android. Now, this is where you don't really need to focus a lot. This is just something in the background that I need to do. And I'll just have some random part. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I told you don't have to look it. I have to write SSHD-P2222. So this Android is any device that is hosting an SSH server. As simple as that. What next? Let's try to connect to this particular SSH particular device. So the command here that is shown in the presentation is this of course won't work for you because I have opened the Android device on my end. If you'd like to go through this, just to pop up Android device on your end and follow the same instructions. You don't need to connect to anything. Just make sure that your Android and your computer is on the same network. That is, they're on the same Wi-Fi or something like that. That's not always required, but right now that is required. We are not going to hack anything. We just started a server. We are not hacking anything, seriously. So we have just started the server. We are going to SSH into Android. Now, as simple as that. Android is a device. You can SSH into Raspberry Pi. You can SSH into, like nowadays you can SSH into your smart plug. Seriously. So ssh-i android.pem. So now what is this android.pem? This is something that we'll discuss later in this video. So as of now, user at A5 something. So U0 underscore A185. What is this? This is a simple username. Oops, it's U0. Yeah. And then we need the IP address, right? In the top presentation, you can see that we need the IP address. What is the IP address for my device? Let's try to find it out. Just open. Yeah, we have a notification from DEFCON. Yeah. Just open this Wi-Fi menu and go over to your Wi-Fi network, whatever you have connected to. Scroll to advanced, and there we go. We have the IP address. It's this one, 192.168.1.16. So just remember this IP address. I'm going to use it just now. Going back to my Termurex, and here let me enter my IP address. 192.168.1.16 and P2222. Enter. Okay, now it's asking me something. Do you think that this is authentic? It's kind of like, do you trust the device you're connecting to? Maybe you're connecting to the wrong device, so it's showing the fingerprint of that device. Usually, we are just going to say yes. Oops, I'm already in that session. So here, I have the Android terminal on the lower left side of my screen on my computer. So, oops, I got disconnected. Yeah, connected again. So I have Android terminal on the lower left side of my screen, and what can I do? Let's verify if it is Android or not. So I'm going to hit ls/sd card. Indeed, this is Android. I won't have Knives Out is a nice movie. You can have a look at this movie, but never mind. So yeah, these are the WhatsApp folder and all the different folders. So I am inside this Android device, and mind you, you don't need wires to connect to this Android device. This is all in the air, not cloud. Cloud is different. Mario, yes. So yeah, never mind. So we are now connected to our Android device. What next can we do? We can start a calculator. Can we? Let's try. on the upper presentation. It might be a little bit blurry to you, but the command I'm going to type would make it pretty simple. And what is this command now? I mean, I'm going to start a calculator. How do I know this command? Where did I learn this? This is something I'm not going to tell you in this session, because now I am inside the Android device, and now whatever happens belongs to the realm of Android developers. So ask your developer friends. Are you using custom ROM? Yes, Stranger. I'm using Lineage OS ROM on my phone, but I don't think that should make any difference because we are not using root privileges or anything like that. So yeah, com dot Android. No, it's not Samsung, uh, but it's not Samsung. Com dot Android dot calculator 2 dash dot calculator. Hit enter. The moment of truth, and we have the calculator app open. So yeah, exactly. We can control anything of regarding to our Android device. I'm going to just close it now because that's it about Android. Lineage OS is different. Yeah, Lineage OS is different. Yeah, it is actually Lineage OS. I've installed Lineage OS over here. So this is how we can get into any device and control that device. And the operating system doesn't really matter. I just wanted to show you that I can even get into Android system using SSH. And mind you, whatever I do afterwards is more or less valid for anything that I've shown before. Like the Paris server you have connected, I can do that on that as well. And the Android device, we can do whatever I show further in this session. We can replicate everything from the Android device as well. Okay, next up. This was the Android shell, of course. Nothing new over here. Okay, we're going backwards. So now I guess this command makes a little bit more sense. SSH-I android.pem. What was this pem? This was a key file. Yes, Dipanjan. Am command is a Android specific command. That's why I said that I'm not going into the am command details because that is operating system specific. Once I get a shell inside a computer, that's as much as I want with SSH. After that, what happens? Okay. So after that, whatever happens depends on the operating system itself. So let's go further. Dash I is android.pem. So what is this? If you look at the corresponding syntax at the lower row, it says that we need a key over here. So this was a key that I generated from my Android device. You can generate that too. We'll look how to generate public private keys and those complicated stuffs later on this tutorial. But right now, just know that this is a key that we need to log in. What was u8 underscore a18 blah 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 blah? This was username of my Android device. You can find out the username of your Android device by whoami command executing in your Android device in the term UX as well. Samajit, yeah, that was Alexa. She just talks randomly. Scary, right? And after the at the rate of sign, I need the IP address. So the IP address thing, I really cleared it out how to go through it. And Abhinav, about private and public key, don't bother right now. Just understand that this was a key we used to log in. That's as far as we are concerned as of now. And dash p gives the port. And if you remember slightly from how I turned on SSH server in Android, you would remember I specified 2222. That's why I have to specify port 2222 to connect to Android device. Now we have to take care of public key authentication. Ta-da. There are two types of keys: public key and private key. Both keys more or less look similar over here, but they are completely different asymmetric keys. That is, public key is not equal to private. How it works: say you have a document, a plain text, whatever it is. You use the public key to encrypt it to some garbled text, like it won't make any sense at all. So you encrypt it using that public key. But now when you want to decrypt it, you need the private key. This is the different key you need for encryption and different key you need for decryption. Conceptually, when we talk about mathematics and stuff, public key and private key are interchangeable. You can use public key for private key and private key for public key. It doesn't really make a lot of difference, because one is used to encrypt, then other would automatically be used to decrypt. But in SSH, there is a standard that we follow. No, RSA. Hi, Elliot. RSA is the encryption algorithm, and even in that algorithm, we have the same we have the same architecture, that the public key and the private key are interchangeable, completely interchangeable. But what we use in SSH are some standards with that algorithm. Whatever RSA, DSA, elliptic curves, whatever algorithm you are using, there is some standard that we use. It's a PKSC standard. Uh, I don't really remember the exact name, but there's a standard that comes with the SSH keys, and that standard specifies that you have to use the public key on the server, and the private key, you have to keep the private key yourself, by yourself, and you don't have to show it to anyone. So private key would be private to you, and it makes a lot more sense. And there are reasons why they have chosen something like this. How can we generate public and private keys? Of course, SSH comes with a tool called ssh-keygen. As the name suggests, it generates the key for the operating system you are on. You hit ssh-keygen, and you will be able to generate the key pair inside that operating system. You'll get one private key and one public key. So how to use that private key and where to put that public key? Let's hold on for that. If you open your terminal, yeah, if you open your terminal and hit SSH keygen, then it would show generating public and private RSA key pair. So by default, it is the RSA key. You can change it to a lot of different types of keys you want, but it generates RSA key pair. Then it wants where would you like to save the key. So you'll have to write the directory name, or you can just hit enter. If you hit enter, this would be the default directory, home ws. This is whatever over there is the default directory where the key goes, right? And and if there is some directory that is missing, it would just automatically create a directory. You can enter the passphrase if you want to password protect that key. This is even further, like you have two different keys and you want to password protect those keys as well, then you can provide the password. But right now I would recommend just hit enter and have no password at all. And then your identification would be saved in this exact location. And this identification that looks like id rsa, this file is your private key. And this is something that you can delete from the server. You can take it with you and keep it with you, and never disclose it to anyone. This is the key you would be using to connect to the server. And the public key would be saved in the same name. The extension would be .pub. That is, this is the public key, and public key we will typically be placing inside the server somehow. But we'll have a look at how it goes. And here you'll see a very nice picture. If you can tell me what this picture means, then kudos points for you in the chat. But right now, I'm going to move forward because this is not very SSH specific. And yeah, dash p, when I connected to Android, was the port. Oh, why did I just? Yeah. And now I think this command makes a lot more sense. If there is anything at all that you think that this command is cryptic, just let me know, because dash I is the key. And this is which key? This is the private key, because I told you you have to keep the private key with yourself. And the public key is inside my Android device, and I have kept it like that. And this is the username over here, and at the rate, and then IP address, whatever the IP address I found out, and the port. I guess now it makes a lot more sense. Story time. Because everyone just loves a story. I mean, I'm just talking monotonously for last 25 minutes now. So I think it would get lot boring if I keep talking like this. So let me just stop talking and start telling you a story. So listen. Meet Neo. This is the character. This is the lead protagonist of our story. His name is Neo. He is very much into computer science and computer softwares. But right now there is a problem with him. He only have has SSH. He doesn't really have a lot of different tools. He has a simple operating system in his hand and SSH. Not a lot. And now Neo is standing in front of a machine. And what's the story here? Let me tell you in the background. The year is 2095. Machines have captured the entire world, and everyone is being ruled by the machines, and everyone is fighting against the machines because of machines have evolved into ways in which they shouldn't have, but they have. And Neo's target is to take out the machine population and regain control over the society. And this is Mac Zero, that is the machine zero on your right side. Remember the name, we are going to use this name. And Mac Zero simply hosts an HTTP server. Very simple HTTP server. No one mentioned Matrix. um, we are not authorized or anyway related to Matrix, but this is an hypothetical situation. It might, like, this is a better Neo. We'll see how this is. But yeah, this is the machine that Neo is standing in front of, and he's thinking that he has to get into this machine. It says HTTP, so that's pretty simple. That it uses HTTP connections. That is, this is a normal web server. Let's say Google, Facebook, or whatever web server. And at the bottom it says logging enabled. That is, whenever you visit this machine, your IP address would be logged. And you see, Neo is standing just beside this machine, and he cannot risk telling his IP address. He cannot risk being traced by this machine, because if machines trace him, they are going to kill him. So he has to do something so that he can just evade the tracing via the machine and access the HTTP server, normal web server. So, do you have any idea what can he do? Idea in comments, please. Okay, going out in three, two, one. Well, he'll be using a proxy. But hey, wait! I didn't I just tell you that he doesn't have a lot of different tools? He just has SSH. How would that work? SSH can work as a proxy. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? SSH can simply work as a proxy. Yeah, Srinja says that he can SSH into the device, but we don't want to SSH into the device. What we want to do is we want to use our own device, but still try to access the target server. But SSH can work as a proxy, as simple as that. The we can move away from all these huge abstractions like VPN or something other, logging into some other server or getting a different proxy. We can get away from those, and SSH can simply work as a proxy. But how? Another simple, cute, small command: SSH-T-D 4711. This is a port, local port, user at host. Let's dissect it. Dash T means I don't need a terminal, because whenever you try SSH, you get a terminal. But right now, you just need a proxy. You don't need a terminal. And dash D means enable proxy on the following local port, right? That's it. It says that dash T, don't start a terminal, don't give me a terminal. And I need 4711 proxy on my local port. That is on my local machine on 4711. I will have a proxy. Let us see how that works. So here I have my command line, and I'm going to enter SSH-TD. And yes, you can follow along as well. It will work for you. You just need to type this command: 4711 WOS. That is, you can figure out the full form what it is. But at the rate of, there is only one server that I have provided you. That is the Paris server that we just SSH into in the beginning before Android. So you can just enter the same IP address of the server. and then hit enter. Now what's going to happen? Let's wait. Is this the right IP though? Let me just have a look. Maybe we even got connected, but let me just quickly verify if this is the right IP, because I highly doubt. Okay, I guess this is the wrong IP address. Let me just quickly fetch the correct IP address that I provided to you. Yeah, here it is. The IP address that I used in the beginning was 52.47.163.42, and now hit enter. And now it is asking for a password, and rightly so. When connecting to SSH, you'll need to have a password, and the password is Hritik, small h, and the spelling I have already mentioned in chat. Just scroll above and you will be able to see. Hit Hritik and hit enter, and now nothing really seemed to happen. And Dipanjan, no, it will not get logged into SSH. I mean, we will get logged into SSH, and but we won't get the login page, as you, I guess, wanted to say, because we supplied the dash t command, and dash t means don't need a terminal, so that we don't need a login page. It just wants us to connect. And on the following local port, that is 4711, we are having a proxy. But how would that proxy work? Okay, let's have a look. Here I'm going to switch to my browser. This is my browser. Very simple, nice browser. What you have to do after executing that command is head over and will this gonna work with firewall on the server? Um, Anumitra, firewall on the server, it depends how the firewall has been configured, and the server that I have provided you accepts the proxy connections. And we have this assumption that the server we are connecting to is our own server. We are not yet connecting to max 0, that machine that I showed you. We are just trying to connect to our own server. We are trying to establish a proxy, and here we are going to need a proxy client. I prefer Foxy proxy. Just go ahead, search Foxy proxy, and you'll get Foxy proxy standard for different browsers. If you have Mozilla like me, click on this and install this particular add-on. After you install this add-on, it will appear on the top of your browser. It is here for me. And click on the icon, then go to options. Let's add, and it wants a title. I'm going to just write WOS Paris as the title. You can write whatever you wish. There is no restriction. You can write the name. Proxy type. Now, I didn't tell you this, but SSH supports SOCKS proxy. Okay, this is not the sock that you wear when you go out. Moza wala nahi hai. This is a proxy version, a type of proxy that's called SOCKS. SSH supports both SOCKS 4 and SOCKS 5. So just choose anyone. I'm going to choose the latest one, SOCKS 5. IP address. So can you tell me what would be the IP address that I need to enter over here? Okay, I'm going to give you a little while to figure out the IP address. Okay, Elliot says SSH server and Paris IP. Sohit says Paris IP, and SOCKS 5 is the our computer's IP. Srinjoy, exactly right, because we were listening on the local server, right? So when we are listening on the local server, that implies that we need our computer's IP. And if you have even a little bit of a web developing experience, you would know that the local IP that comes for your own computer is as simple as localhost. And I am really sure that web developers would understand what localhost means, but this simply means your local IP. And the port, well, we provided the port ourselves. Let's have a look. It was 4711. So the port would be 4711. And I'm going to hit save now. So this proxy Paris thing is saved. Very simple. And now what we are going to do is we're going to hit the Foxy proxy add-on button and then use was pairs to connect to this proxy. And now let's check what is my IP. So I'm just going to go, what is my IP? I'm going to search that on Google. And this IP, does this IP look familiar? Well, maybe not. Then let's see what's my IP location. Paris, France. So aren't we in Paris right now? Okay, I don't need this. So yeah, Dada, we are in Paris and the ISP is Amazon. So SSH with a very simple command working. With a very simple command, the SSH is working as a SOX proxy. Very simple, right? IP location is France, exactly. So we are inside a proxy server, and we can use this proxy server. And now our character Neo can simply use this proxy and then carry on his investigation, and then he'll get into that Max Zero server. So congrats for Neo for setting up this particular server. Okay, then we will move forward to, let's see where. Wait, did we just make a kind of VPN? No, we didn't make a VPN, but we made an HTTP proxy. And yeah, if you say that VPN is used to hide your IP address or things like that, then yes, we made something like that. But it's not VPN. But if you think like that as what VPN is, if that's a proxy, then yes, we did. And with just this simple command, you just need this one, nothing else. Isn't that amazing? So SSH amazes me always. It comes with a lot of different things. Yeah, sorry, not a VPN. So okay, next up, and woohoo! Now this guy Neo has established the connection inside this Max Zero server, and he's very happy. So congratulations for this guy. Meanwhile, Elliot wants to know where would the DNS request go. So it depends on the configuration, but right now I'm connected to the same server. So let's just try to find out if my DNS is leaking. So DNS leak. This way we'll know where our DNS requests are going. This site kinds of tries to find out. And it says standard test. Okay, it's gonna take a while. And as you can see that DNS requests are also going via the Amazon server, via France, Paris. So you are quite safe with this SOX proxy, and it works like a charm. So I guess that answers Elliot's question. So yeah, Elliot, you can use this particular thing to get into F Society network. Do. Moving forward, I'm going to disable this proxy connection now. Won't be needing this. But this guy still needs his graphical user interface. He wants to develop a simple application on his computer, but he needs a GUI. He needs to do something via the graphical user interface. So how can he do this? Like he needs a GUI, but the computer he's having doesn't have lots of tools that he had inside his graphical user interface computer. So how can he get that? And Neo has a full-fledged GUI installed over there. He has a full-fledged graphical user interface installed in Paris. So how can he access that GUI from Paris? What should he do? Should he have a remote desktop, or should he RDP or maybe VNC into that particular device? But there is one problem. Neo doesn't really know how to use VNC or RDP. And even if he knew how to use VNC and RDP, he doesn't really have VNC and RDP right now. This is the last resort. He can't use those things. So what can this Neo person do? There is the roadblock that he is facing. SSH X11 forwarding. Yes, SSH can also work as the RDP or VNC server and the client as well, and it can eliminate the use of RDP and VNC completely. But there is a catch over here. The SSH the SSH X11 server or the SSH X11 client, both of them are not really optimized, and they are pretty very slow in use. So this is a small drawback. But if you are in dire need that you really want the SSH X11 forwarding, you really want the remote desktop, but you don't have RDP or VNC access, in that case you can use SSH X11. Now, how can we do that? Let's have a look. Here is my terminal, and I'm going to use the same command ssh. I'm going to use the same command ssh dash that the username would be using would be WOS at the IP address. If you remember the IP address, that's great. But if you don't, the IP address that we used to connect to our Paris server was this one: 52.47.163.42. Just use this IP address and connect to the server. But there is one catch. You need to provide dash X for X forwarding and hit enter. And it wants the password. Password is Hritik, Hritik. Yes, you can do it on your end as well. And you see that Dipanjan wants to know what if the whole GUI stack is written in Wayland. So Dipanjan, X11 is the thing that we use, and we don't talk about Wayland over here. Okay. So you'll get the connection, something like this. And right now you have got the dash X flag. So you have got the X11 forwarding, and X11, that is the software X. This is responsible for all the graphics that is going on to your Linux computer. So this is Linux specific. And now I can just start something. Let me just open a new terminal, new tab here. In the new tab, I'm going to start Google Chrome. And as I told you earlier, that X11 forwarding using SSH is not as efficient as it should be, and that is why it takes a lot of time, because VNC would have shown you the browser right away, but because this is SSH, it is not very good at X11 forwarding. But still, we got the Chrome browser, and this Chrome browser is in Paris, so we are accessing the Chrome browser of Paris. So if you would like to verify that, I can just open what is my IP address.com. Now maybe you can't see the URL bar completely, maybe everything is not rendering properly. That is a common issue with X11 forwarding, and as I told you, this should be used as the last resort. So let Chrome work, and let it try to open the website I told it to. Maybe I should have just opened Google. And X, oops, it seemed to have crashed, and the Panjan wants to have ls. Let's ls is okay. Hello Ritik, I'll read that later on, but I'm going to open Chrome again, and this Chrome is again in Paris, and it's actually okay. It's opening existing browser session. Maybe someone else has also opened Chrome, so let me just go ahead and kill Chrome, and let me open Chrome again. And yeah, SSH is not perfect in this, so that, that's what it offers. At least you have something than nothing. Okay, it's still opening in an existing browser session, but we got Chrome opened. We will have to maybe kill that Chrome session and maybe open Firefox. But to save time, I'm not going to do that. Yes, you can do this on your own phone, on your own device. You can use the SSH dash X for X11 forwarding, and then try to open graphical apps. The graphical application would open on your browser, but that application would run on the remote computer in Paris. So that's quite amazing. So the story proceeds. Someone deleted his surprise. Oh, can you add it back again? And they said okay, can you just add it back again? But as of now, using SSH and the GUI, New has developed a secret website. Now, what does that website do? That website collects data that is available near the Mac Zero machine. So he's standing near the Mac Zero machine. He collects the data using a website and multiple tools therein. And the website is hosted on his own computer. Now, mind you, he cannot host that website on the Paris computer. He just used the tools from the Paris computer. He cannot host the website on the Paris computer. Why? Because if because he needs the special data that is being transmitted nearby in the Mac Zero machine. The Mac Zero machine is this one, the machine on the right side. So he's collecting data from this machine, and then he's transmitting it using his website, right? But here's one catch. He has the website running. So if I'm new, I have the website running. So let us have a look at the website. Here I'll just close all the tabs. And the website is running, of course, on localhost. Web devs would know. And this is the scanner website that Neo has made by himself. And this is scanning the Mac Zero machine. But he has to publish this website, right? He can't and you will say that shouldn't he publish this website from his own computer? He can just host the website from his own computer, right? But there is a problem. If he hosts the website from his own computer, the machines will detect him and they are going to kill him because he is just right beside the machine center. He can't take that risk. Do you have any ideas? What should he do? He wants to host the site somewhere else, but he has to collect the data from the machines. So the server should run on the near the Mac Zero machine, near the place where Neo is. But he doesn't want to leak his IP address. What should he do? If you have any ideas, go ahead and put a comment in the chat. Okay, so I guess um, I'll have I'll have to help Neo anyway. So here's what he can do: SSH port forwarding, right? SSH can forward ports as well. So if you have hosted something on your own computer, you can forward that port to the Paris computer, and it would look like that your website is running on the Paris computer. So this is not a Kerberos. It's simple SSH Dipaditya. It's just SSH, nothing else. So we have SSH port forwarding, and let's see how can we do that. Would there be lengthy commands? Would we have to write config files or something? Nope. We have to execute one single command, that is ssh-r. That is the remote port, which is 1337. So let's say I want to host this site on the remote port that is in the Paris 1337. And where is this site located? It is located in my local host, that is my own computer, on port 80 that I just showed you that the site was working. I'll just have to provide this SSH command, and then I can simply provide the SSH credentials and then start a port forwarding using SSH. Let's give it a try. So let me just go to the project folder. Yeah. So now I'm going to simply hit, and yes, you can do this too. If you have something running on port 80 or any different port, you just have to replace that port over here, and then you can do this too. So let's go ahead and type SSH and then dash R, and the rest of the command goes something like, yeah, the rest of the command goes like 1337 localhost 80, and then the login credentials WOS at the rate of the IP address that we configured. So the IP address, if you remember, of Paris server is this one, and just hit enter now, and let's see what happens. Something magical might be happening. Did I provide the right IP address though? I guess I didn't. Let's just verify the IP address 52.47.163.42. Yep, seems like the right IP address indeed. But it didn't ask me for the password. That's what I am concerned about. Should have. Did someone? Yeah. Okay. I thought someone messed up with the server. But I got the prompt. So I'm going to simply type now the password, that is Hritik. And now nothing really seems to happen. But it should be. I guess every one of you, or maybe most of you, are trying to connect to the assisted server, and because it's a really cheap server, it might not take all the load of every one of you. So it might take a while it connects, and we can verify it by going at the remote site and the port 1337. So let us fire up a browser. Here I'm going to fire up a browser, and the remote IP address was this one, the Paris IP address, and the port that we provided was 1337, and oops, it's 1337, and hit enter. Now it's trying to load something. Something is happening. Okay, it's still not able to, I guess. Okay, it failed. Let's try again. Is someone trying to brute force the SSH server? I would really urge you not to try to brute force the SSH server. I do have one backup server here, but that would just hinder this session. So if you are brute forcing the server, please, 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 please don't. Because I have already told you the password. It's HRITIK. And it's made for just the, it's failing on channel 0. Let's try to change the port to 1337 from 1338. Maybe that port is taken by somebody. Okay, password Hritik, and okay, I guess the traffic in the server is causing some problems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different server right now. It is more or less the same, but the IP address is different, so that you can keep trying on this server, and maybe a lots of you are trying, so it's having this problem. So what I'm going to do is Let me just switch the IP address to a different server. This server now is located in London, and the command remains the same: ssh-r 1338 WOS at the IP address. This is what I'm going to change now, and this is the new IP address. Hit enter, prompts the password, and then I'll hit enter, and now I got logged into the server, right? And now let's go back to our Firefox page, and let's try to open that particular server with port 1338, the port we mentioned over there. And there you go. You have that website working on the remote site. So on the remote SSH page, that is this one is located in London. So now it appears to anyone looking at this website that this is located in London, and no one has any idea. No one has no idea at all where this data is coming from. So this is SSH port forwarding. And yes, you can use this to publish your own website from home without using any external services like ngrok, etc. You just need one server sitting somewhere, SSH server. Let's go further. So the connection went something like this. It went to the remote device, port 1337. In this case, we switched to 1338. So whatever is the port, whenever someone initiates a connection, it went something like this. Then it came to a local computer over here, and then it came to localhost port 80, where we were serving our SSH server. Sorry, where we were serving our website. Okay, so I guess how can we do the reverse? Can someone do trace route? Okay, we are going to answer these two questions just now. So first, Abhinav, how can we do the reverse? Yes, of course, there exists a reverse option. You can forward the remote port. That is, we are right now forwarding the remote port 1337 to localhost port 80. But if you like to do the exact reverse, you can have dash L flag instead of dash R. That is, if you want to forward the local port to the remote connection, that's a different thing. But yes, that exists in SSH. So have a look at dash L flag in the SSH manual, and you'll understand how to go through it. And can someone trace route? Dipanjan wants to know. So we have this IP address. Where did it go? Let me open it. Yeah, we have this site on this IP address. So if you'd like to trace route, as far as I remember, trace route doesn't need a port. So we will have to remove the port. And if you hit enter, it will reach finally. This is my connection. It is initiating the connection. Finally, it will reach to the server here in London. It won't leave any trace to the original server whatsoever, because outside clients don't really need to know where this port is going. So no, trace route is not going to trace anything. It will just finally reach to this particular server, and then that would be it. So yeah, and Abhinav, one's question is, for example, I want to access PHP MyAdmin running on remote server. So yeah, if that PHP MyAdmin is running on the remote server and you want to forward it on your local port, you can do something like this. Just log out from SSH, and here do SSH dash L instead of R, just do L. So you want to forward the local port, let's say port 1234, to the remote port. So on the remote, the machine's name is localhost as well. So you leave localhost as it is. And the IP address, the port number of PHP myadmin is, I don't really remember, but let's say it's 6767. So you can provide the port of phpMyAdmin, and then again the server name and the username and the server IP, and then hit enter, and then you'll have that connection that you want. Yes, you can do it in reverse as well, something like this. Okay, so let's move further. So yeah, You could pat yourselves on back because you helped Neo to transmit the data from Max Zero to the entire world and the people related to Neo, and now he is transmitting some real data. Going forward, ouch, Neo is hurt. That's a small problem right there in his hands. He can't now type anything. So we need to decrease our typing. So what should we do? Neo is hurt. We have to do something so that Neo has to type as less as possible. So let's carry on. SSH configuration file. We are going to write a configuration file so that we don't have to write the username and the password and the IP address, everything all over and over and over. So we are going to use SSH configuration file. And Abhinav has a question, can be port forward if firewall is enabled on that port? Abhinav, if firewall is enabled on the server, that is server is not going to listen to say port 80 or port 1234, then it simply won't listen to that port, and even after you port forward, it won't work. So it depends on how your firewall is configured. SSH basically opens a terminal from your local computer to the opens a tunnel from your local computer to the remote computer. So it really depends how that particular firewall you're talking about is configured. And Dipanjan wants to know what kind of latency does SSH port forwarding have? Can I use it to forward Minecraft server traffic? Well, Dipanjan, yes, of course, give it a try. Forwarding Minecraft server traffic. And later on, let us know what kind of latency you faced. There are lots of different variables in account for the latency, like the cipher you are using for encryption and the physical location of the server. But you can try it out by yourself. Where is the SSH configuration file located? It is located in the home folder. This tidal sign over here means the home folder. And inside the home folder, it is located in the directory called .ssh/config. So here you can write all the configuration files for your entire SSH whatever you're typing. So you can write the all the configuration files. The configuration file is going to look something like this. If you write a file, you'll have to write host, then alias, whatever alias that is the nickname you want to give to this host. Provide any nickname of your choice, and then host name, then server IP. So you'll have to then provide the IP address of the server because we don't really want to keep typing the IP address. So we'll provide the IP address, then identity file. So this is the key file that we are skipping for now because we are going to use passwords. So you can just skip the identity file for a little bit, and then the username. Of course, these two are mandatory that you want the server IP and the username. So you'll have to provide that over here. Okay. So let's write one config for our Paris server, the server that we were connecting from the beginning of the session. So let me pop up a terminal, and here I need to go to the directory that is /ssh config. Sorry, the home.ssh/config. So let's simply do cd to home.ssh, and /config is the file name. So this is the directory that we have to go in, and I'm going to ls. It has one file, and right now I can even delete this file. Doesn't really matter because you can assume that this directory is empty. Doesn't really matter at all. And inside this directory, I'm going to create a file called config. So use your favorite editor, whatever you use, NanoVim or gedit or code, VS Code, whatever you use as an editor, use that editor to open up a new file called config in this location. The file format is something like host and then alias. What alias would you like to give this particular server? So this is Paris server, so I'm just going to write Paris. Then host name. Here I need the IP address of the Paris server, and I really hope whoever was brute forcing the Paris server has stopped it, because please don't. So here is the host name, and then here we have the identity file, and we're going to skip the identity file section because we are going to use password for now. And user is, yeah, you guessed it right, is WOS. And let's just save this file. And now we have the config file created. Now what I need to do is to connect to my SSH server is just SSH space Paris. I don't need to write any host name. I don't need to write any username. I just need to write the nickname that I gave it to it. That was Paris, and it hit enter. And then it's trying to connect to the Paris server. And unfortunately, the brute force attack is still going on, or some kind of DDoS attack is going on. So I'll have to use a different server again. Why won't you just stop? Okay, it says a connection reset at this spot. Okay, trying again. I got the connection like this with the same address. Now it says, do you trust this host? Then yes, I do trust this host. This is the fingerprint that we got in the beginning as well. And then just hit enter. Then it will try to connect again to the Paris server. And well, it should happen theoretically instantaneously, but because of course, the issues that we are facing, it takes a little bit of time. And now we need the password, so I can write the password as Hritik and hit enter. And okay, again that attack. Well, the small solution that I have figured out right now is to SSH Paris. Okay, password Hritik. And okay, let me just change the IP address of the server because apparently someone is still doing something nasty with the server. Come on, that's not completely fair. So SSH, and then we go to config, and here I'm going to change the host name of the server. So let me just use a different host name, that is one for the London server. And yeah, Dipanjan, maybe the server is running out of memory because someone is thrashing the server a lot. So maybe even if someone is not, maybe a lot of people are trying, that could also be the case. So I'm going to try the London server now. You can, of course, keep trying the Paris server. So let me try London SSH. And then, yes, of course, I do trust it. And the password is Hritik. And there I go. I get connected inside the London server very simply. So this is how you can write the config files for SSH server. Now proceeding forward, we still need to write the password, right? Uh, every time you are going to connect to the server, we still need to write the password, and that's not something great. So what can we do? Remember the public and private key pairs? We can use those key pairs to we can use the key pairs and insert those key pairs so that every time we don't have to use a password. Instead of the password, we'll be using a key. So let's add one. This is how you would add a key pair. Just log into the SSH server, whatever you are in. I would highly recommend you to keep trying the Paris server because else it is going to hamper the stream. But right now, I'll try the London server, and I'll use SSH-keygen to generate a key pair. So let me just, I'm connected to Paris server right now over here. So I'm going to go SSH-keygen, and hit enter. Then it needs the file where to save the key. I'll just hit enter because here this is the same file I would like to use. It says, would you like to overwrite? I'm going to say yes. If that exists, I'll overwrite. And then passphrase, I don't really want a passphrase. So hit enter with empty passphrase. And now you get a pretty picture. Now you have the public and private key both on the server. What you need is you need to authorize one key to be used by the server. So we will have to go to .ssh directory. Here every key is stored as told by the ssh-keygen. These are the two keys. The pub is the public key and IDRSA is the private key. And we need to have this public key as authorized. That is, if this private key is used, then it is going to allow the login. And for that, we need to authorize this IDRSA public key. So let's authorize that key. In order to authorize that, you can add this file inside authorized keys files. So simple way to do would be cat idrsa.pub. This is the file, and I'm just going to send it to authorized keys files and hit enter. Now this particular key is authorized. Let's carry on. But there is one issue still. You still need the private key, right? You have the public key authorized over there, and the corresponding private key is going to work. But you still need the private key. How are you going to fetch the private key from a server located in Paris or London? You're not going to take it from there. So what are you going to do? File transfer. SSH also supports file transfer. So you can transfer whatever file you want from one server to different server. And for that, the tool is SCP. It uses the same SSH protocol. So let us see how can we transfer the private key from the server to ourselves. This is how. First of all, you will have to log out from the server because we want to transfer the file from the server to our machine. So let's just use SCP. SCP is very similar to the CP command. It's just a SSH CP, you can say SCP. So let's see what's the first of all, we'll need to provide the host name that we just added. That is the nickname actually we added in the configuration file. So for you, if you have added the Paris in the nickname in the configuration file, use Paris. But I have added London over here. I'm going to use London and then colon. After that, I need to provide the file location. So the file location where I put the keys was in home directory slash dot ssh slash id underscore rs. This was the file location of the private key, and I'm going to save this private key. Well, anyway, I can save this. So let's maybe save this in this current directory. So I'm going to call this London. But the well, I can save this anywhere, right? But the standard says I should save all the SSH related configurations and the keys in the home folder SSH inside the home folder .ssh directory. So let's save this to inside the home folder .ssh directory, and the name would be London key. And I'm going to hit enter. It wants the password for London. That is pretty weird. It should have worked directly without the password. Oh, no, no, sorry. We are trying to avoid the password, right? So that's perfectly fine. So yeah, hit enter. And then there we go. IDRSA has been transferred. This is the speed and everything over here. And the transmission has happened to the final directory. This is our directory where the transmission has happened. So you can go to .ssh in the home directory and do an ls. And this is the London key you have right here. Now let's try to add this key inside our configuration file so that we can simply connect using this key without using a password. So for that, open the config file with whatever editor you are experienced in. And then let's go back in the slide. What it said was to add an identity file, right? So we're gonna write identity file. And now it needs the location of that identity file. Identity file is the private key. So we have just transferred the identity file in SSH dash slash London key. So wherever you have transferred this file, just provide the location and then save, right, and quit. And now if I do simply SSH London, and hit enter. Ta-da! We got the shell without a password. So everything went automatic, and now Neo don't doesn't have to type a lot. He can simply hit SSH London, and he'll get logged in. Very simple. So I guess this is going to help Neo a lot with his hand not very fine. So right now I'm going to log out from the server because it isn't required. Let me just no, forget it. Okay, moving further. Okay, this is we have already completed file transfer. Well, if it didn't work, maybe you were having some issues. If SSH was still asking for your password, there might be some edge cases that might have gone wrong. Here's what you need to do. You need to provide the private key, that is the Paris key, inside your local computer, strict access. That is chmod 00. Sorry, chmod 600. This is what you'll need to provide. So if considering here is your SSH key, you'll need to do something like chmod 600, and then whatever is the key name here, the key name, let's say, oops, I got in text. Key name, if it's the London key, I'll have to provide London key. Whatever it is, just chmod 600. Why 600? Because SSH needs strict access to those keys. And then if you are still facing a problem, go to the server, log into the server using the regular login method, and then make sure the authorized key file that is located in the .ssh directory that also contains strict that also has strict access, that is chmodit 600 as well, something like this. And phew, now he doesn't really have to type a lot, and it's gonna help him a lot in the long run. So let's see how we'll carry on. Going further inside the machine world, he has now the control over the 400 more safe. 400 is, I guess, 100 read operation only. Yeah, I guess 400 is still okay. But you can change it to 600 as well. It's like, doesn't really matter. So here we have Neo has entered inside the machine world. So he has taken care of Mac 0 machine, but now he has to face Mac 1337. This is a red machine with logging enabled written in red. Because red, that is why this is a very, very tough machine. So what's tough about it? Well, this machine keeps on tracing IP address. So if Neo tries to use a single VPN, sorry, a single SSH proxy that we just set up in the beginning, the machine is going to trace that proxy, and then it will trace that it is somewhere in Paris. It will go to Paris, and then it will find out where in Paris it is, and then it will try to find out from Paris, it will go back to Neo, because there is just one connection from Neo to Paris, and then Paris to the final machine. So they can trace it really quickly. And this machine keeps on tracing. So this is a tough machine. So how would it look? So it's gonna look something like this. So if you use a single IP address uh, in the middle, you are going to be tracked really fast by the machines. Okay. So there is something that we can do using SSH itself. Jump hosts. We can jump multiple hosts using SSH, so that if someone goes to first host, they'll have to figure out where that host is connected, and then he'll have to go for the second host, and then he'll have to find out where that second host is connected. So now I'm going to provide you the IP address of all the servers that I have created. This is the IP address. For Paris, you have the upper IP address. For Mumbai, the middle one, and for London, there are total of 3 servers. And please, please, please don't brute force any of them. Username for all the servers is WOS, and the password is Hritik. So these are the three IP addresses with username and password provided here. What we are going to do is we are going to jump across all these three addresses and then finally reach the target server so that they aren't able to track us. How? Well, it's going to be as simple as SSH-J Mumbai and then Paris and then London. Very simple. Let's do it right now. And Mumbai, Paris, London are the aliases that we'll have to configure in the config file. So first we'll have to create the config file for all these three hosts. So let's go ahead and edit our config file. Config file. And yes, Dipaditya, I'm using AWS. And I'm going to copy this entire thing and paste it over here. And the London host I have already configured. Let's go to Paris host, and I hope that the attack has stopped. If you are trying to replicate the same thing, please just replicate until we create the config file. After I show you how the connection goes, then you can try to replicate it on your end, because I don't want the server to again get a lot of congested. So our next host will be Paris host. We have the London host already there. Host name is the IP address, that is here. The Paris IP address is 52.47.163.42. And identity file, we are not going to use an identity file because then we'll have to configure it and everything like that. You can do it in your free time. You're free to do that. But let's just leave it like this. Again, different host would be, the last one is Mumbai, and the host name for this is the IP address is 13.232.211.39, and then user is again WOS. If you have figured out what WOS means, uh, try to type out in chat. Let's see if you have. And now we have config files for all these three servers created. I'm going to save this file. We can confirm it by typing SSH London, and I should get a shell. Yeah, I did get a shell. I will exit from it. Then I can again try to verify the other configurations similarly like SSH Paris, and it should ask me the password. Yeah, the Paris server is still having some problems. So we are going to not use Paris server for now because it's having some problems. So let's use the last server that we had, SSH Mumbai. And okay, what happened with Mumbai as well? I mean, like, London is working properly. Just Mumbai and Paris. Let me have a quick look. London, Mumbai is 30, 39. Let's have a look at the config file once again. MUMBI, we have the spellings right. Username is, yeah, here we have 211 in Mumbai. The IP address was misspelled. That's why it wasn't connecting. So these are the problems that you could also face during the connection. So make sure to have make sure to look at these. Yeah, Dipaditya, WS's wonders of SSH. Will not shell actually SSH. So yeah, here we have all the IP address, I guess, properly configured. Save this file, and then I'm going to do SSH Mumbai. It says, do I trust this server? Yes, I do. And then the password is Hritik because we didn't add the configuration. And here we get the nice shell. So Mumbai is working and London is working, but Paris for some reason might have crashed. So we won't be using Paris. So if we just have two servers, what we can do is use the same command, but we are going to leave out the Paris part. But yeah, if you have different servers, you can keep on adding comma and keep on adding different server names. So let's say SSH J Mumbai and then London. You can add a comma and then add a different intermediate host as well. But not just this, we want a proxy with jump host. If we do something like this, we'll get connected to the London server via the Mumbai server. But we just don't want this. We want to get connected to London server via Mumbai server, and we also want the proxy as well, right? so that we can connect using our browser. We can use our browser. So here we go. And first of all, we'll have to create the config file that we just did. And then this is the command that we'll have to execute. That is dash j Mumbai, and Paris is offline. Had that been online, we would be using Paris, London, and then again our old friend TD4711. T is I don't want a terminal, and D is this on this local port. I want the proxy to run, the SOX proxy, if you remember, and hit enter. It wants the password. Of course, this password is for the Mumbai server, because for London I have configured the key-based system. And now it would seem that nothing is happening, but because you have added dash T flag, it doesn't really prompt for a terminal. You should have a connection now. Let's go to Firefox, and let me close this and a new tab. And again, use our old Foxy proxy configuration. We had that on already with the exact same port. So I'm just going to use this. And let's go and open Google. And here we have Google and my IP. This IP, does it look familiar? If not, let's go and try to find out what is my IP address. And tada, we are in London. Congratulate as well. Will the TD be applied to both Mumbai and London? Dipanjan, no. TD won't be applied to both Mumbai and London. TD would be applied to the entire command. It would be applied in a way that you will get a proxy on your local host on the port that you have specified. And because we have the J option, that is the jump host option, we are going to jump all the hosts and then get back to our main server. So here it went to first London. So all the connections went when the connections were coming to my computer, they went to London and then Mumbai and then my computer. And they were going outside from my computer, they went to Mumbai, then London, and then to the outside world. So now we can have multiple layers of this connection, and then we can evade tracing in a lot of manner. So this is something that happens a lot in movies, that they set up multiple jump servers. So this is how you do it. So I'm going to Control C to stop this particular proxy. So we can just Control C this one. And next up, Profit. We got the connection, and we can literally do whatever we please to it. And yeah, that finally Neo has evade machine 1337, and he's really happy. Like he was able to completely evade everything. And next up is now Neo has done everything. Okay, Dipanjan wants to know how it's different from Tor. Yeah, I would like to say that with SSH, you just created kind of in a way your own Tor, because all the data is encrypted from one server to another, and you are providing passwords for all the servers as different password. You can have different passwords. So in a slight manner, you have created something similar to Tor. It's not completely similar because there are lots of different things that go on Tor, but yeah, you kind of created home uses Tor kind of stuff. So that's a pretty great thing right there. So this guy Neo wants a little help from his friends. Now he just have to get out from here, because he has just destroyed this server, the main server that was used for the from the machines, and he just has to get out from here. What can he do? Like what he can SSH into someone's computer, he can port forward, but he needs help in his own computer. Let's see what can he do. First of all, I don't really need help. So what you can do is open up a terminal, and right now, right here, you can execute tmate. This is a very nice command. You might not have this particular command installed, so just go to tmate.io. Like this is the website. Just go over there and install this command. This also works via SSH. So if I, for example, just go into SSH server, something like this, and then I do tmate, and then something like here, I have tmate and hit enter. Oops. Okay, I installed Teammate in the Paris server as far as I remember. So let me try to check out Paris. Paris isn't connecting. So what we can do right now is I can show the teammate on my own computer. So if I run teammate, it is going to prompt something like this, and it will give you some SSH session, something like this. And I would recommend you to try to put this in your computer. And yeah, someone might seems to have already put this in their computer. It turned green, and now if you put this particular thing in your computer, you'll get access to my computer. Like just SSH and provide this particular string, and then you'll get access to my computer. I have left that string in the chat, so just use that. Okay, here we have a mate has joined, and someone is saying hello, and you can execute anything what you like on my computer. But please don't shut down or do anything nasty with my computer. So this is you can like multiple people can also join to this computer. If more than one people try to execute the same command, you will be able to execute the same commands. And I guess another mate has joined. So like how many friends you like, you can keep joining to this computer. And then before you do RMRF, something like that, I'm going to disconnect that session. So you can provide a teammate and then provide access to whomever you like. And now he has access to all of these, and he got access uh, to friends help as well, and he's really happy. And he got out. And thank you. That's it. We don't have a lot with that. SSH, of course, can do a lot of wonders, and these were a little bit of wonders that SSH could do. And Neo wants to thank you for your help during this entire session, the present, the future, and the past viewers of this stream. Thank you so much. And if you like the stream, go follow me on Twitter. Okay. So over to you, Fazil now.
Yeah, really amazing. This is 1.5 hours of full session.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like in
guess
the
so.
comment section, some people were having a lot of fun, especially Dipanjan, Dipadita, Abhinav. Thanks, guys, for being here. And yeah, as you can see, if you have any problem, you can always reach out to Hritik. Okay. Abhinav is saying remote login is enabled in college's website.
Abhinav,
Absolutely.
we are not we are not going to discuss anything like that. That's
Okay, let's please. This is on record, guys. This will on YouTube, so let's not indulge in all that.
we
Okay.
don't know. We don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know. So yeah, thanks a lot, Ritik. Really, thanks a lot, man. So hope you all. I am just here to wish you Diwali. Next week we won't be having any session because 14th of November there'll be Diwali and Children's Day. So enjoy both these days. And then a week later maybe we'll have a full on session on internships, everything that is related to internship. So if you have any query, anything that you want to ask, note it down. In that session you can ask me. That session will be taken by me. So okay, let's wrap up then. Bye,
Okay.
Ritik.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys.
Bye.